Hello there, my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the updated version of the Steam Machine, which I believe is now known as a Steam Machine VST, which I received from a Greek website called www.atomiser.gr, and that is almost definitely pronounced incorrectly. Before I start, I must point out I did receive it free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review, but my opinion of the product remains true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so like I said, this is from Atomiser, but I don't think they actually sell them on their website. I think they're just like the manufacturer. But you know, if you are in the UK, I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning that you can get them from www.vaporisers.co.uk. Right, so before going to the close-up shots, just want to point out that this is a updated review, so I'm not going to be going into sort of too much detail. I'm just going to show you what the actual updated parts are. Okay, so here I have the fully assembled and updated version of the Steam Machine, which I believe is now called a Steam Machine VST. VST standing for Variable Steam Temperature, and I will go through that in a bit more detail in a second. Now I'm using it on a ProVari here by a 510 to e-cig adapter. For those who aren't aware, the Steam Machine doesn't have a regular 510 connection, it is an e-cig connection, and it is pretty much designed to be used with your like regular sort of e-cig batteries. But if you want to use it on your ProVari, your Lava Tube, your GGTS, etc., then you can just use a 510 to e-cig adapter and it works a treat. Now in my original Steam Machine review, I took the whole thing apart, showed you how to build it from scratch, put on a new wick and coil, etc. But I'm not going to bother doing that in this review because I've already covered it and nothing in the actual sort of build process has actually changed. So instead what I'm going to do is just go through some of the updated features. Okay, so in this section here, nothing sort of too exciting has changed. You still have the little ceramic cup. You still wire up your coil and your wick exactly the same. When you press a button, it's still going to hopefully produce lots of nice vapour. What has changed though is this little section here which traps the negative wire, which hopefully you can see there. Now on the original Steam Machine, this part used to be made out of some sort of like a tough nylon or plastic material, not too sure what it was actually, but it's now been upgraded to what I believe is stainless steel. Okay, so this part here is the most significant change to the Steam Machine. Now this used to be just a regular e-cig Type B tank cartridge which was filled up with like a polyester filling material soaked in e-liquid, and then when you put that into the top of the body here, the wick pieces would soak up the liquid and feed it down to the coil. Now it still works in exactly the same way, you still have the filling material, so it still operates in exactly the same way as the Type B tank cartridge, but where it's now made out of a nicer stainless steel, it's a machined piece. This means you can also use your own favourite 510 drip tip, which for me is a really big bonus because it's so much nicer being able to use your own drip tip compared to having to use a e-cig Type B tank cartridge. The other sort of significant change is this part here, this sort of dome shape, and this is actually the VST or Variable Steam Temperature. Now the idea is that in its most sort of open position, when you put it into the top there, this is going to be quite close to the coil, so therefore you should get quite a warm or hot vapour. If you want a vapour to be sort of slightly cooler, what you can do is just screw it inwards, and the more you screw it in, the further away it will move from the coil and therefore produce a cooler vape. Okay, so like I said, it still works in exactly the same way as the original Steam Machine, so you just put that into the top there, and that's it, you're ready to start vaping. Okay, so that is the upgraded version of the Steam Machine. So this is the Steam Machine VST. Let's go ahead and see what it vapes like. Okay, so that was the updated version of the Steam Machine, now known as a Steam Machine VST. So what I'll do now then is go ahead and show you in action. So I'm using it on my ProVari, which is currently set at 3.5 volts. The resistance of the coil is reading 1.2 ohms. And I'm using some tobacco flavoured 18mg strength PG based e-liquid. Now I'm going to start off then with the VST in its sort of hottest position. So I've screwed it so it's out as far as it can possibly go. So in theory the end of that dome there is right next to the coil, so I should be getting a really nice warm vapour. And you know, I'm getting a really nice warm vape out of it, no problems there whatsoever. And you know, performance-wise, it's exactly the same as the original steam machine. You're getting lots of nice vapour, you're getting lots of flavour out of it, you're getting a nice strong throw hit as well. And like I said, in its furthest setting out, you get a nice warm vapour as well. Okay, then, so what I'll do now then is I'll screw that little sort of dome shape back in to make the VST into its sort of coolest setting. So I'm going to screw it in as far as it can possibly go. Put it back in there. And now I should be getting a nice cool vape. And the difference is, bugger all basically, regardless of what setting it's in, whether it's at its hottest or at the right at the opposite end of the scale in its coolest setting, for me the temperature of the vapour hasn't changed one iota really. Now that may sound like a bit of a negative, and I suppose in a sense it is, but for me personally I'm not bothered by that at all. I mean, like, I like to have a nice warm vape. I'm not bothered about a cooler vape. The temperature of the vapour for me is pretty much spot on really. And for me the biggest advantage or the biggest improvement with having the VST bit added is being able to use your own drip tip. And like, I don't mind the Ego Type B sort of tank cartridges, but they do tend to get quite a bit of sort of condensation build up. They're not overly nice to sort of hold into your mouth, especially if you're getting like little drops of e-liquid sort of forming up there as well. And you know, so you know, for me, just being able to use your own 510 drip tip is a far greater improvement than any sort of temperature control on it really. You know, so for me, the steam machine, which was already a really nice, really good quality rebuildable atomizer, has most definitely improved, regardless of whether the actual sort of temperature control works or not though. No, for me it's just a very nice vape. The build quality of the steam machine is very good. All the parts screwed together very nice and smooth. And like I said, now you've got the stainless steel sort of VST. Even though the temperature thing, for me personally, doesn't make any difference whatsoever. You know, just the fact that you can use your own sort of drip tip, which is far, I'm sure most people would agree, is far nicer. You know, for me, it's just an absolutely major improvement. And it's, like I said, it's just turned a really good rebuildable atomizer into an even better one. Now, there's not a great deal else I can really sort of tell you about it. You know, if you fancy trying one out for yourself, go along to www.atmom, the Greek website, or if you're in the UK, you can go along to www.vaporizers.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.